Welcome to God's country, Chairman. Thank y'all for letting us have this hearing here. Thank you for your leadership and your service, your love for your community, and your love for your country. Let me make some comments. First, I want you to know this is a friend, and I love him as a fellow Texan. But I disagree with a whole lot about what he has supported and voted on and what my chairman has for this committee, and quite frankly, most of the party under Pelosi's leadership, and certainly this president. I'm just going to be shooting straight with you because that's what we do in Texas, right? Okay, so the American Rescue Plan, maybe it did help somebody somewhere, I'm sure, because when you pass $2 trillion, it better help somebody somewhere. But 10 cents out of every dollar went to some COVID-related issue, and it was wrapped in the flag of helping us get back from COVID. We spent $100 billion to bail out the union pensions. Nobody sold it as that. We had tens of billions for schools that never opened their doors to our children. That's a moral hazard. That's rewarding bad behavior. That was in the bill. Nobody's going to tell you about that. Tens of billions of dollars to stimulus checks to people making $150,000 and didn't miss a paycheck. Not a good use of your tax dollars. Don't you agree? Okay, I could go on and on, like bailing out California, who is now cash flush with $98 billion thanks to the hardworking people of South Texas. So, no, I don't think that was a good bill. I don't think it was good for you. I don't think it was good for your children. They're going to have to crawl out of a $30 trillion debt hole if they can, if this whole ship doesn't sink under the weight of this frivolous, reckless spending. Oh, by the way, how do you like the $460 a month that you've lost in your wages because of the fire of inflation? The match that lit it was this public federal spending flooding the market. Okay? And it's true. We had $1 trillion left to spend, hadn't even been spent, and it was solely Democrats that jammed that through. It wasn't one Republican because of the things I mentioned. Did it help somebody? Gosh, I hope it did, because it hurt our country, and it's hurting working people more than anybody else. Now, I'd like to talk about the infrastructure stuff. I agree with the broadband. We need to not leave communities behind. I'm a rural guy, food, fuel, and fiber capital of the world up there in Lubbock. And you guys, man, we are very simpatico when it comes to what drives our local economy. We feed and clothe the world. We fuel the nation's economy. But there's an awfully big whole of government assault on oil and gas. You would think we were the enemy of the state. We keep consumer prices low. We give America energy independence. There is a full-on assault. So when you talk about infrastructure, 25 cents on every dollar of the $1 trillion infrastructure bill went to real infrastructure, waterways, roads, bridges. I don't know that 500 electric charging stations helped South Texas. No, I was against that too. The infrastructure that matters most right now is the infrastructure that protects the American people. And we are at ground zero of the worst humanitarian, public safety, and security crisis in the history of our country. And we're talking about roads and bridges. I'd love to have the conversation, but that would be like us going to Ukraine and having a hearing about fixing the potholes in the street while the Russians are waging war on their citizens. So no, we got to talk about this border crisis. It is 100,000 people have died from drug overdose. That's more than the Vietnam War, Gulf War, Iraq War, Afghanistan War combined. Generations of Americans are dying because of a war declared on our country by the drug cartels. If I asked you, raise your hand if you think the federal government's in control of our border. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you think the drug cartels are in operational control of our border. Y'all don't think that? I'll make note of that. I'll tell the president, since he won't come down there, none of y'all think that the drug cartels are in operational control of the border. Do you, Miss Kibbe?
Kibbe, and yes, sir, I do.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of time left, but the chaos and lawlessness is unacceptable for your children, for the neighborhoods of South Texas and the neighborhoods in West Texas. And I hope we can spend more time. I know Miss Kamala Harris hadn't come here. She went to Central Texas, said it's the environment, it's the climate. Well, I don't think any one of you guys agree with that. You know policies have consequences. This is self-inflicted. We've got to do something about it. not just to save Texas, save America. So I appreciate your indulgence. I know I went off script there, but I'm a Texan, so occasionally we go off script. God bless Texas. I yield back.
Ms. J.